Ruth Smeeth.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I wish to speak briefly on a matter that is of great concern to some of my constituents, which unfortunately I couldn't raise in Moho Co-Logo questions yesterday. And that is the way in which big housing developers across the UK are failing in their responsibilities to homeowners and residents. We have a housing crisis in this country, that much is clear. We desperately need more homes, affordable homes, and a greater variety of housing stock in order to meet our needs, both now and going forward. And as a proud representative of the potteries and chair of the APPG for ceramics, I would add that we should be making sure that we are using British ceramics in every home that we build. And what could possibly be better than Staffordshire bricks and tiles? However, as great as our ceramics are, I'm here today to discuss the quality of the finish of some of our new homes. This is a very real problem in my constituency. For months, my constituents on the Bluebell Croft estate and elsewhere in Kidsgrove have been forced to live amongst unfinished roads and shoddy workmanship because the housing developer Taylor Wimpey has simply not bothered to finish the job. I can testify to the appalling state that the estate has been left in. Roads have not been tarmacked and they've been left with raised metalwork which poses a hazard to drivers. Curbs and pavements have been left damaged or unfinished. A playground built within the estate has a range of safety issues which have not been addressed, and we are now in the school holidays. It has taken one resident nearly a year to get her street lights outside her house switched on. Throughout all of this, Taylor Wimpey have refused to engage with their customers. One resident who has been complaining to the company since she moved in last December told me she has been fobbed off every single time. They have ignored communication from the local councillors for the area, and they have now ceased to respond to my own correspondence. When invited to attend a public meeting, they declined. This is simply unacceptable. On their website, they describe themselves as a community developer, committed to working with local people, community groups and local authorities. This is an audacious description, including as it does almost every group that has been systematically ignored by Taylor Wimpey in my constituency. But my constituents are not the only people to have suffered in this manner. Taylor Wimpey are also not the only big housing developer to believe that they can ride roughshod over local communities. All too often it seems that it is those homes at the affordable end of the market that are most likely to be left incomplete as developers cut costs wherever they can, bulking up the profit margin at the expense of their customers. When it comes to good quality house building, it appears to be one rule for the rich and another for the rest of us. What is happening in Kidsgrove is not an isolated incident. It is a snapshot of an issue that is recurring up and down our country. Last year, a YouGov survey for the housing charity Shelter found that 51% of homeowners in recent new builds in England had experienced major problems with their properties. These included unfinished fittings, problems with constructions and faults with their utilities. More than half of people purchasing these new homes are unsatisfied with their purchase. In what other industry would these statistics be considered acceptable? If a car manufacturer sold half their vehicles with faulty steering, or a water company only managed to get water to half your taps, there would be rightly a national uproar. Yet in our desperation to tackle a very real housing crisis, we have allowed developers to build properties quick and cheap without fear of the consequences. All too often, the behaviour of these big developers goes unchallenged. They have money, expensive law firms and huge PR budgets to make sure it stays that way. But it is my role and the role of each and every one of us here in this place to ensure that our constituents' voices are heard. Money may be a great amplifier, Madam Deputy Speaker, but so is democracy. And it is about time that these housing developers who act in this way have their mistakes brought to the light and are made to answer for them. And as Taylor Wimpey proudly declare that their company's history can be traced back more than 100 years, I need them to understand that my constituents cannot wait 100 years for them to find a conscience.